Hello everybody, my name is Quant, and today welcome to a new video. Today we have another Super Quant deck profile. Before I start off this video, I know it's been a long time since I did the last one, and especially Brilliant Fusion being hit, this deck has gone through quite a number of changes. So that's why I'm showcasing it today. I also got new sleeves for it, so it actually looks good compared to the last time where I had those really bad foggy sleeves. The current format we're in is Emancipator and Eldritch format. We haven't seen much from Inferno Knights because Rise of Duelists hasn't come out yet. However, we have started seeing Dragon Link FTK. Now, I'm not quite knowledgeable in that because Toon Chaos literally came out like a week ago. So I don't really know too much about Dragon Link FTK. So this deck won't be like addressing that whatsoever if that does become way bigger than it is currently. So for those of you who are new to the channel, in the description will be the full deck list. So for those of you who just want a quick deck list look, it'll be in the description. This video will just be me going over each of the effects of the Super Quants and my opinions on them for those of you who haven't actually played Super Quants before. And at the end I'll just go through some tips and tricks. No combos, anything, because this deck is quite luck based, especially with Alphan's effect and what your opening hand is. So just be prepared, and so just like don't expect any lengthy combos at the end of the video. Okay, now that we've done that, we can finally start the video. So first up we have free Super Quantum Blue Layer. Now its effect is that when it's summoned, it can search a Super Quant card, any Super Quant card, and then when it's sent to the graveyard, you shuffle up to 3 back into the deck. Now the shuffle back to 3 in this version of the build becomes way more important later on, because of Pod Desires, which banishes 3 cards, which banishes 10 cards face down. Okay, the next card we have is Super Quantum Green Layer. Now this is easily the most controversial because it's always run as a 2-of or a 3-of. I personally run it as a 3-of because I actually find it quite difficult to have Super Quantums in hand sometimes. Like if you don't open any Super Quant monsters, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, anyway. On summon effect is to special summon another Super Quant from hand, including itself. To grave effect, you can discard any Super Quant, including itself, and then draw 1, which is quite useful. However, will not proc all the time because sometimes the only thing in your hand is Alphan. 3. Super Quantum Red Layer. He can special summon himself if you control no monsters, which is honestly really nice. When he is special summoned, add a Super Quant from the grave to your hand. Rarely will you ever get to use this effect. However, sometimes it is quite helpful, especially getting a Magnacarrier from the grave to the hand. And when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon another Super Quant from the graveyard other than itself. And then the only good Dark Neostorm support that we received is Super Quantum White Layer. Its effect is I can send another Super Quant from hand or grave. From hand or field, that includes the Super Quant Xyz monsters, to special summon it, and then its effect is to send a Super Quant monster, including itself, which I find quite ironic. It copies that level and attribute. Quick note, the send is an effect, not a cost, so they can't ash it, which kind of sucks. And its grave effect is to add Alphan from deck or grave. Although it doesn't target Alphan from grave, which means if they call by the grave 1 Alphan, you can just grab another Alphan from grave. It is ashable, so there is that problem. Okay, and the next one is Super Quantum Fairy Alphan. Its first effect is that it can target 1 Super Quantum monster. All monsters become that level. Very rarely will this happen. However, when it does, it's not that bad. The second effect is you can tribute itself. And then you can you reveal to your opponent 3 Super Quantum monsters, and they randomly select randomly, so they can't just always select the bad ones. Special summon 1 and send the others to grave. Now, although this is luck based, which means your opponent doesn't actually always pick the bad one for you, you also can't always pick the good one. Now, most of the time with Alphan, this is what I mean by can't combo, because it's so random what you summon out, what you do depending on your graveyard, field, etc., that it makes it really difficult to actually do combos with Super Quants. And that's it for the main Quants. Okay, so moving on from the Quant monsters, because we literally maxed it all, we also play a small danger engine. So we play 1 Nessie, 1 Suchi, 1 Jacka, and 2 Chupa. So all the dangers have the effect of you can reveal them and then discard 1 card. If it's not done, special summon them, draw them. And it also includes 2 of the same cards. So for example, if I have 2 Chukas and I revealed the Chuka and I randomly shuffle, and then you discard the Chupa, it would not count as you missing. It counts as you hitting the actual danger itself. So each of them, when they're discarded, it helps with putting levels on board, because all of these do synergize with each of the levels of the Quants. Level 7 for the white Xyz, level 3 for the blue Xyz, level 4 for the green Xyz. They also help draw 1, which is really good, and the discard effects are quite good. Nessie allows you to add another danger back to hand. Suchi special summons itself. Jacka special summons any level, so you can choose to pick which Xyz, most likely the level 7. And Chuka special summons another one from grave, probably the worst, but what can you do when everything else is limited? This also procs when it's discarded by Magnacarrier, which really helps the Super Quant hand advantage, because this deck now struggles with hand advantage. Next up is 2 Trick Clown. I only play this of the Performage engine because, honestly, I only play this because the other dangers are kind of garbage, and this is the only one that can be discarded and special summon as a body. I know a lot of people play a bigger Performage engine, however, I don't. Hat Tricker I find is a bit too bricky sometimes, and Damage Juggler just adds another card to hand, and it, for me, is kind of just convoluted and quite deck thinning. Like, I know it's deck thinning, but like, I just find it quite useless. But yeah, this is probably something I do not feel comfortable with in this deck. And last but not least, 2 Ash Blossom. Honestly, these should be, for this format, 2 Dark Ruler no more, or 2 Imperm, rather than Ash. However, I only have Ash, and but that's not saying Ash is a bad hand trap, just not good this format. Okay, moving on to the spells. We run 3 Magnacarrier, and also I'll just throw in the Terraforming as well. This is your bread and butter of the deck. This deck can literally not function without Magnacarrier. What it does is you discard 1, target a Super Quant, special summon 1 of the same attribute. So if White Layer dubs 1 and changes to like a 5, for example, you summon the Fire Xyz on top. And then if you have 3 of the Super Quantum Xyz on field or in grave, you can send this to the graveyard and then special summon a Magnus from the deck. This is honestly one of the best spells in your deck, and it's really essential for your strategy. Okay, so next up is 3 Pod Desires. I personally hate this card to the guts, but you need to play it. This deck really struggles with his hand now because of Magnacarrier discarding everything, and this really helps with the draw 1. And with Pod Desires, as long as you don't banish all your Magnacarriers, all your Alphans, and all your blue layers, you should be fine. Even if you have 1 of each blue layer, we'll keep shuffling them back in the deck for them to be used. Okay, we run 2 Call by the Grave. This is a going first deck primarily. I know I run Ash in here, but that's because of this format. Going second is practically suicide. So in case we don't go second, Call by the Grave is very useful, because if they Ash your Alphan or your blue layer, you practically can't do anything. Run 2 Succession and 1 Reborn. They serve the same purpose. This is trying to ensure that Alphan's random effect always happens to be blue. So for example, if you use Alphan, your opponent randomly picks, like white for example, you can Monster Reborn the blue, you get the search off, or you can link into a IP Masquerena, use Succession to summon blue to search your field spell. This is, although it's really weird, this is quite necessary for the deck, because sometimes having these in hand is quite useful, because you can guarantee the field spell, which is what this deck really needs. Without the field spell, this deck is practically really slow, because everything is different levels and it's an Xyz deck, which is a problem. Foolish Burial, most of the time you'll be using this to send a white layer to add Alphan and then use Alphan's effect. You can also send, if you already use White Lace effect, you can always send Trick Clown as a level 4 extender to use as link material, or to make Aeroboros the rank 4 Xyz. 1-for-1, this is honestly quite powerful. Special summons Alphan. This deck really struggles with his normal summons, so having a way to special summon Alphan without actually normal summoning is really strong, because if they interrupt it, you can keep going. Reasoning, this is a free special summon. You have literally so many levels in the deck. You have level 3s, level 4s, level 7s, level 5s, level 1s. It's practically a free special summon. And E-Telly, blue is a level 3 psychic, so special summons off this and you can get a surge. This is also one of the ways you can guarantee the blue layer from Alphan's effect. That practically sums up the deck, and now we go to the extra deck. IP Masquerena. A lot of people don't understand why I play this. It is quite simple. IP Masquerena is a generic link 2 arrows, which really helps outing dinos, which is a quite a strong deck this format. Not powerful like Emancipator's, but really helps. It also provides 2 downward pointing arrows, which helps with World Lake Succession. It also enables you to do to have a negate with Unicorn, an interruption with Unicorn, if you end up bricking. Knightmare Phoenix. Now this is probably one of the least played links in my extra deck. However, you need it to out Imperium Order. If they flip Imperium Order on you, you cannot use your field spell, which means you cannot summon Magnus, nor you can use your power spells. This deck does run a lot of spells, so having Knightmare Phoenix to out the Imperium Order is very, very useful, especially now that Sky Strikers are back to a semi-competitive level. Unicorn works with IP, shuffles 1, quite good. There's also something you can work with when you get nibbed, which I'll show later on. Megaclops, if your Magnus gets outed, this is probably what you're summoning off of it. Very powerful card. I really enjoy it. And last but not least, Borrelsword Dragon. I don't run access because, as you notice, I don't run that many links. This is all the links I play. And yes, although they are different attributes, very rarely will I summon more than 2, which is these two. And they're both the same attribute, so you can only get 1 pop of access code. Not worth it. But Borrelsword Dragon is very useful for ending games. It also helps you to do something if they flip Dimensional Barrier at you and they call Xyz, so it does provide a link option for your deck. It is also it can also summon this off Magnus if you end up having 3 Xyz and then drawing, like, I don't know, another body, so you can use with Borrelsword. This catches a lot of people off guard, especially with how grindy the nature of your deck is. Okay, moving on to the Xyz. This is actually quite standard. We run 2 red, 2 blue, 2 green, 2 white, 2 Magnus. So each of the Super Quantum main mechs have similar effects. They cannot attack when they have Xyz material. They can attach a Super Quantum monster as material, which does not include Alphan because of the Super Quantum tool. And they become quick effects when they have their relevant pilots, so white, red, blue, green, color coded. However, what differentiates them is their actual detach effects. Pop 1, MST, Book of Moon, Veiler. So yeah, these Xyz are quite good if you can't get into Magnus, as they are a useful way of stalling. Speaking of which, Magnus. Now this can only be summoned by using Magnacarrier from the deck, and he has multiple effects. First of all, when he's sent to the graveyard, special summon 3 mech beasts from your grave. So this allows you to get extra bodies in field, and hopefully not die if they do somehow out your Magnus. And then when he has 2 or more materials, you can non-targeting shuffle 1 card on the field. So this is Spell or Trap. And also helps out Aeroboros, which is pretty cool. 4 more, unaffected by card effects. And then 6 or more, you cannot add any cards from deck to hand, and this also includes drawing. So this is Colossus, but like better. He's also quite big, being 3600, and this is generally your win con. Okay, last but not least is my side deck. This is for this current format. There are better alternatives. to this, however, but we just work what we work with because I have no money. 1 Call by the Grave to fill out the 3rd one that we're missing. 1 Ash Blossom, fill out the 3rd Ash we're missing. 3 Twin Twisters. Honestly, this isn't as good this format because Eldritch exists, but it's fine. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. 3 Gamaciel. 3 Veiler. And the best card, Ray Raptor Readiness. So, for budget alternatives, if you have 3 Dark Ruler, this should be the 1 Dark Ruler, and the Veiler should be 3 Ash. The Twisters should be Lightning Storm. The Twisters can be a debate between Lightning Storm. However, I know some people don't like to run it because of Magnacarrier. I'm personally of the opinion of running Twisters instead. However, Lightning Storm is a valid option. Instead of Gamaciel, you run Nibiru. This is Gamaciel but better. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so just some quick tips. What you want to side out. So the cards you'll be siding out would be the 2 Successions. Once I figure out what your deck does, it becomes easy nib bait. And as much as I do play Succession, this does not help you extend when you have Nibiru. So you would rather run other hand traps or negates. Call by the Grave really depends on the matchup. Or if you're going 2nd. And 2 Ash. The only reason why I play Ash is because it needs a way of going 2nd. However, if you're going 1st, you can easily replace this. This is 6 cards in your this is 6 cards you take out. Side in 6. If you don't know what to side out, you can always side the 2 Successions for the 1 missing Called By and the 1 missing Ash from my side deck. And that is how I side deck. Generally, with Alphan's effect, you would normally pick red layer, white layer, and blue layer. You generally always pick these 3 when using white layer's effect. This is unless you have blue layer in hand. If you have blue layer in hand already, I recommend replacing the white layer with a green layer instead, so that you have more chances of summoning blue. Unless you already have Reborn, then that's just overkill and you don't need to do that. So this is a very situational situation, I know. But let's just say you just got nibbed and you do have 3 Xyzs in your grave. What do you do? So first of all, you activate the field spell to special summon Magnus with 3 materials. Now, I'm just going to use any 3 materials. Now, the only thing Magnus has currently is his shuffle effect. Now, although this is nice, it is not that good because he is still affected by card effects. So what you want to proceed to do is you want to link 2 with your token into IP Masquerena. Okay, and then you chain Magnus's effect to special summon 3 Xyzs. This will allow you to proceed to Xyz summon into Megaclops. Now make sure he's pointing in a direction that you can do a zone in, because when you do summon Unicorn later, you can summon it in a curling zone, so you can draw 2. Okay, then you activate Megaclops' effect to steal the Nibiru. I don't actually have a Nibiru, so we just have to work with this. And special summon Magnus. Now, hopefully you do have a card in hand to use for, Unicorn's effect. So that in your opponent's turn, what you do is you link 2 with IP into Unicorn, card linking, so you get to draw 2 next turn, discarding your card so that you get to shuffle 1, and then using Magnus's effect to re-special summon 3 materials. Now, next turn, you can try to build another Magnus, or you can link 4 into Borrelsword for game. And that's pretty much how you out Nibiru. Okay, I thank you guys for watching this Super Quant deck profile. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I know it's been a while, but that's just the way it is. Yeah. I hope you enjoy making 6 material Magnus on your opponent and looking them cry as they can't out it, or cry as they kaiju you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.